Hello, I'm Victoria Lanham with Beacon Legacy Group. Today we have the honor of being with Miss Stephanie Ballard of Cannon Clark Holman and Associates. Stephanie, we know you're an accountant, but tell people a little bit more about what led you to accounting.
My daughter is 10 years old, and I'm pretty sure I wanted to be an accountant since I was 10 years old. I made fake checks. We played office. So from the first time I can remember, I've always wanted to do something in numbers. I didn't know that it was going to be on this level. At one point, I changed my major in college to be a nurse. Worked in the hospital for a little while, thought I wanted to be a flight nurse. And then it came crunch time, like you have to pick a major. And at that point, I was like, I've been at Cannon and Clark for so long. I don't want to lose all of that. Let's just stick with accounting and go with it. And that's what I did.
Okay.
So,
Now, did you do all like internships and work there a long time before you actually became an accountant?
yep, I started at Cannon and Clark in February of 2001, senior in high school. Um, Part time, ran errands, shredded paper, washed cars, whatever. That's what I did. I actually did not become a CPA until 6 years ago, I guess. I think Sadie was probably like 3 or 4. And it was one of those things that everybody was starting to get older and needed like a continuation plan. And it was kind of put on me that you need to be the continuation plan. And so I started studying, and a year and a half later,
There you
finished.
are.
So
Very good.
yep.
Well, it's only going to go up from here. You just
I hope
continue
so.
on. Well, it's really nice. We've talked about it a little bit, but you are able to kind of have the help of, you know, Jim Cannon, you have Mr. Clark, and you have that, but also like you're able to kind of bring in new people with yourself as well and kind of
Yep.
keep old clients and new clients. And
Right now, we've actually got, we had a girl in high school. She came in during her spring break in March. She came in and just kind of shadowed everybody because she thought she wanted to do accounting. And then she approached me and said, when I start college, is there a way that I can maybe work a couple of days a week? I said, absolutely, because had I not been given that opportunity, I wouldn't be where I am today. And then we've got another college girl there, which she actually graduates in December. And so it's kind of the same thing, just giving them the opportunity that I was given to hopefully, see them follow all that.
You can kind of see them following in your footsteps and see the future of what's to come.
So
that's amazing. Well, not only are they're young ladies, and
they
have a good role model with you, of course.
I hope. And hopefully they want to stay local. That's a lot of times the problem here is a lot of people graduate from tech and then they want to go to Nashville, Knoxville, Chattanooga. You don't have a lot of people don't think you have a lot of opportunity here, but what they don't realize is how much Cookeville has grown and is going to grow. And there's a huge market for new CPAs in public accounting if we could just get them to stay here.
Definitely. Now I know, we have a lot of clients that are always asking for accounting referrals, and a lot of people are moving here, as you know. Sometimes it's very hard to find them. So there's certainly a market here for that.
And that's where it's on us now. We've got to grow because there's a ton of people out there that we could bring on as new clients. But if we don't have the capacity to service them as they should be,
right,
then, we're hard pressed to take them because we want to make sure that we're doing everything for them that we possibly can. If we're short staffed, we can't, live up to our end of the bargain.
Absolutely. So. Now, how do you approach leadership in your role now as a CPA and as an accountant?
I had a great role model for 23 years. He's still my role model. I was on the phone with him before I came over here for 30, 45 minutes. Hands down, I watched him for 20 something years and how he handled situations, how he handled us as employees. And so being able to see all that while I was young and developing and whatnot, that was the best thing that I could have, had.
Absolutely.
To utilize is just watching him. And so I've literally took how he handled things and I add my own touches. I'm younger, and so I try to do things a little different and try to get us moved up more into the 21st century and whatnot. But for the most part, it was him that has just kind of planted those seeds along the way that just stuck.
Do you catch yourself sometimes doing things and it's like almost seeing him do it? It's like, well, this is how you do it.
I say, and it's funny because we talk about this when we sit down in meetings with clients, that Jim Cannon comes out of our mouth so much more than we would have ever thought, because we've been with him for so long.
Yeah.
And so it comes out and you're like, oh, that was Jim.
He was basically talking you through me.
Pretty much. He's sitting on my shoulder.
Yes. So. Well, that's what everybody wants,
yep.
is to instill those qualities in someone and continue on.
He's always treated everybody, first and foremost, we've always been a family.
Yeah.
It's boss and employees, but above all, it's family.
Absolutely.
And I think that's been the number one thing. It's just we're all so close and we've all been together, because for the longest time, until we hired the 2 college girls, I was the shortest tenured employee at 20 years. And so they've got a good thing going, and I wanted to keep that good thing going. So if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right.
It's worked for all these years.
Yes.
Smooth transition, do the same thing, and it'll all be fine.
Absolutely. What's a challenge that you face, and how did you kind of overcome that?
Sometimes when you've been an employee for so long and you don't have to make the decisions, you take the problem to somebody else and you're like, here, well, now all of a sudden I'm the one that they bring a problem to, and I have to figure out how to deal with it. And it's just, and I've had to fire someone. And I was very nervous about it, but I handled it. I did it. When you're faced with those challenges, think about it, pray about it, whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
And then
put your
big girl pants on and go in there and do it. And then once it's done, you look back and think, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But it's just, going through all what could happen if I make this decision, and just trying to make the best decision for you and the firm and your employees. And
right. Absolutely.
So
how do you stay up to date? Now, we know as well as anyone, tax laws, regulations, everything's always changing. Once you think you have it figured out, the next year comes along and you don't know, or they can change everything. How do you kind of stay up to date with that?
Continuing education is a big thing, and being in an office with multiple people, because I don't know everything. I'll be the first to say that. But if there's something that I don't know, I have a number of people in the office that I can go to and say, hey, have you had this before? Or what do you know about this? Mm-hmm. So being able to go to others.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was me by myself, I'm like, Google help me. But having all of those people there in the office to go to, and just the continuing education, the webinars, the constant.
Constant learning.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because we even come upon something last week that one of our clients had brought to our attention, and none of us in the office knew about it. We're like, did you know about this? And no one. And so we're like, how does this happen? How is something like this not something that is brought up at one of our big seminars that we go to at Heidelberg's every year? It's just one of those things that is buried in the tax law, and unless you're looking for it, you may not ever find it. So other people having the availability of all those other people is key.
Absolutely. Now, what's one of the most rewarding aspects of a career as a CPA?
I would say probably the relationships, because it's not, you're taking care of someone's money, which is huge.
Yeah.
You're helping them with their taxes. But so many clients are friends, like legitimate friends, and having, I guess, that relationship with them lets them know that you've got their back, and that you're going to steer them in the right direction and help them make decisions that's not going to end up, in some huge tax bill or something like that, but getting to know them as a person, and as a client, and just making sure that what do they want out of this, and trying to steer them in the right direction.
Absolutely. Now, everyone knows the term accountant or the term CPA, but what do you really do? do you help people like with their finances? Maybe if they have a goal in mind, do you help them figure out how to get there? What all kind of services can you provide clients?
Well, as a firm, I mean, we do as much or as little as someone needs. So, I mean, you've got bookkeeping clients, you've got payroll, sales tax, you've got tax returns. Um, we've got the finance side of life with the Series 7 securities license and things like that.
Yeah.
Mainly what we do with that is the majority of our investment clients are accounting clients because they go hand in hand.
Right.
And so we try to make sure that if they're in retirement and they have to pull from an IRA, that how much can they pull before it bumps them up into another tax bracket, or a scenario like that. So being able to work on those both of those
kind of
levels
at the same
is very
time.
helpful, because sometimes you have an investment advisor that'll tell a tax client something. Well, that's not necessarily true, and then it may wreak havoc on their tax return. So being able to do that, all under one umbrella is very helpful. So we do the investment side, pretty much anything under the accounting umbrella. We don't really do audits. We don't do that stuff. As far as finance stuff, we recommend to people sometimes, like Dave Ramsey, if you really want to get in good financial shape. I mean, you may not agree with everything he says, but the bulk majority of anything that he puts out there, a lot of times it's just common sense.
Yeah.
And if you will just do it, listen to it, and just follow through with it, then you can end up in a good spot financially. I honestly think they should teach like a Dave Ramsey class or something in high school for these kids, just because so many people they're never taught that.
Definitely.
And so what they don't know, they don't know.
That's right.
But I think more people should definitely be taught about accounting, tax, finance in high school, early college, just so they are well-rounded and know what's going on when they do get out.
Junior and senior year of just having an idea of what the world looks like once you get past that point.
Yeah, because you've got kids that they don't know how to write a check. And I mean, I know checks are going by the wayside, but people still write checks.
Yes.
And they don't know how to write a check, or they don't understand.
Yeah.
But we live in a society where you want something, you get it, and people don't save for things anymore, and that's why people are in debt.
Yeah.
They should be taught about that.
That's right. That's right. Early education. Maybe people need to start picking you up, Stephanie, and bringing you to speak at some of the different schools. How do you mentioned, you're trying to bring the firm kind of into the technology age. How do you kind of balance that along with also building those relationships? Is technology helping make things faster for your clients?
We just got a new software that we're going to utilize this tax season. And it's more for people to be able, it's like a portal. I'm sure most accounting firms have them. We've never branched out to do that. We've got secure email servers that we can get documents from, but this, we're hoping, is going to maybe make us more efficient during tax season. Everybody's busy. They don't have time to make 2 or 3 trips over to the accountant's office to drop their tax information off, to drop another document off that they may have forgot or didn't include, come back, sign the return, pay for it, all that stuff. So this gives them the ability to upload the documents on the website.
Yeah.
We can send the tax return to their portal once it's finished. They can DocuSign it. They'll have the ability to pay. And that, I mean, because there are clients that we have at our firm that we see them and we may not even see them one time a year, and that's during tax season.
Right.
We have a lot of clients that are monthly clients, and then they're also tax clients, and so that relationship is already there.
Right.
And they also know that at any given point in time, if they send an email or if they call us, we call back within 24 hours.
Right.
So we make that touch to make sure that they know that we're still there, and whatever you need, reach out to us.
So you can do as little as people need or as much as people need, and kind of.
And sometimes it's hard with technology, because if you have been doing things for so long one way, and then you want to try to get more tech savvy and bring your firm into the 21st century, there's a learning curve there.
Definitely.
And people don't like change.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, once you go through the hard part of the actual change, you'll see that 5 years down the road, funny story, we used to have one computer monitor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then we decided, okay, we're going to have dual monitors.
Yeah.
And we all fought that. We're like, why do we need 2 monitors? This makes no sense whatsoever. So we got the second monitor. Okay, whatever. 5, 6, 7 years down the road, all of a sudden one of those monitors craps out, and we're sitting there just like, oh my God, what? Like,
I only have one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now we're so used to that. So it's just, the change part is hard.
Yes.
But just think about 2 or 3 years down the road.
Yeah.
We'll look back and be like, I'm so glad that we did that. That has saved us. That's saved all of us 20 hours a week during tax season, or whatever it is. It's just getting through.
Yeah, and hopefully
initial change.
It'll help you take on more clients because you're going to be saving your time to be able to provide more services.
Absolutely.
So
we're hopeful.
Definitely. What are some financial mistakes that you commonly see that either individuals or businesses are making? Maybe some pitfalls that they fall into, and kind of what is your advice to them on how they can avoid those mistakes?
Don't listen to their friends and other people, because we have so many phone calls that they'll call and say, well, my friend said this, or I was getting my hair done the other day and this lady was saying this. And I'm like, that's not true.
Yeah.
This one was on the sale of a personal residence.
Yeah.
That they were going to sell it for more than what they owed. Well, that doesn't have anything to do with it.
Right.
So it's just like, you don't, just because somebody says something,
yes,
call a professional that knows about it.
Yeah.
I'm not a plumber. I'm going to call a plumber if I have a plumbing question. I'm not a lawyer. I'm going to call you if I have a lawyer question.
Yes.
Too many times people listen to others.
Yeah.
And then they get caught up in, some tax bomb or something. They're like, well, I should have called you. Yeah, you should have.
So this would be easier to fix 2 years ago when the problem started.
Yep. You shouldn't have listened to the lady in the hair salon.
Yes. Fair enough.
I mean, it's just like, if you have a question, if you think it's dumb or you think it's a trivial question or whatever, call us and let us tell you exactly how it's going to work before you do it. And then, then you can't undo it.
Yes.
So
definitely. Now, I know that tax season especially is very hard, but you also are a mom. So how do you balance work-life balance, being a mom, being a leader at your business, being an awesome CPA that now is kind of becoming that leadership role at the firm?
Tax season is hard, but she's 10 years old now, so she's never really. This past tax season was the very first tax season that she was aware, I guess, of how much mom worked.
Okay.
And so I made her, just let her know that mom works this much for 2.5 months out of the year, and the rest of the year is very laid back, and we get to live the life that we live because mom works hard.
Right.
And so my ultimate goal is, like, if she learns anything from it, is that working hard gets you not necessarily more money or more things in life or anything like that, but people aren't going to just hand you stuff.
Right.
You've got to work hard. You've got to earn it. And so I hope that I'm instilling a work ethic in her during tax season. But the balance is, you just, even during tax season, I'll come home at night. I'll bring stuff home. She'll sit right beside me, so we're right there together.
Yeah.
But I'm still working, so we're together. And then after tax season, making as much time for her as I possibly can, doing as much with her.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, tax season, while you're in the thick of it, seems like it takes 6 years. But at the end of the day, it's 2.5 months. It's a long, grueling 2.5 months.
Yeah.
But you grin and bear it, and you know that April 15th comes real quick.
Yeah.
And then we go back to, living a little less stressful life.
Yeah.
And family, mom's a huge help.
Yeah.
So I mean, you just make it work.
Make it work. And I guess, do you do vacation after tax season? Do you try to just take a minute to breathe after that April 15th date?
Yep. So the past couple of years, me and some of my best friends that I've had since 2nd and 3rd grade, we do like a little 3 or 4 day girls trip right after tax season.
Okay.
And it's just a girl trip for us all to get away and and just to do. We're all moms, and so it's really hard to leave our kids, but we do it.
Yeah.
And we enjoy it, and then we're ready to get back home to our kids. And then when Sadie gets out of school, we'll typically do something. We're going on a fall break trip this year. Okay. She's playing basketball, so that pretty much limits to, when you can go. But yeah, it's key to unwind and take a breath after, because it's hard.
Yeah.
February's not that bad. March is awful. And so by the time April 15th comes, just to be able to sit there and
you're made it
through another one.
Okay.
So I mean,
it's important.
Yeah, very.
Now you mentioned you knew what you wanted to do at 10 years old. What is Sadie? Is she showing any signs of wanting to follow in your footsteps? Is she interested in other things?
I've told her numerous times, Sadie, if you want a business that's going to do you well in life, there's one that'll be waiting on you.
Yeah.
And she's like, no. Depends on what day of the week it is. Some days it's I want to do hair. Some days it's I want to do nails. An artist, a teacher.
Yeah.
It flip-flops back and forth. She's young.
Depends on the day. There's still plenty of time.
There's plenty of time. She is definitely not playing office and making fake paper checks, though, like I was.
The good news is most kids aren't doing that. So maybe eventually she's going to see, the business is there and waiting for her, and she's going to, maybe a little later in life, she'll start playing the office.
We'll see how it all plays out. I'm anxious to see what she decides that she wants to do, but I told her it doesn't matter as long as you're happy.
Yeah.
I need you to go to college. Nobody can take. You don't have to go to college. I get that there are plenty of jobs out there that
absolutely
trades and things like that. But I'm like, if you go to college and you get that degree, nobody can take it away from you, and it opens a lot of doors that otherwise might not be open.
Absolutely.
So I try to encourage that.
Now, what advice do you have for young professionals or someone that's interested in a career in accounting or finance, and especially in their leadership development skills? What can help them be in your shoes today?
Well, if they want to pursue a degree in accounting and go that route, they'll always have a job.
Yeah.
I think one of the girls at the office the other day read an article, and there's only 1,700 CPAs in the state of Tennessee.
Wow.
And with tax laws changing, and with as intricate as they are, that will be a profession that always needs people, and you will always have job security.
Absolutely.
As far as leadership, find a good role model and participate in things. I wasn't a loner in school, but I wasn't an outgoing person who really tried to put myself out there and be in organizations or anything like that. I'm pushing Sadie to be in student council right now, just pushing her to do those things that I didn't.
Right.
Because I think it will develop good life skills for her later on down the road.
Absolutely.
Leadership, that's still something very new to me, because it's every day I'm learning, okay, this is my new role now, and so there are a lot of things that I have to do differently. Right. I read some books to just try to give you the confidence to know that you can do this.
Absolutely.
Because when you were an employee of an organization for 22 years, and then all of a sudden you completely switch roles, that probably was the hardest part, was flipping that light switch
and now becoming that person.
Yeah. But it's just every day, okay, this is my new role, and make good decisions, be a good role model to those that I'm around.
Absolutely.
And try to do the things that if they see me do it, then they'll follow my footsteps.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Stephanie.
You're very welcome.
Now, do y'all have a website or a Facebook, or where can people find you?
Well, that's the whole thing about technology. We just recently did portraits to get the website up and going.
So it's coming.
Because we have always been like, we're here, here's email, here's phone number, and here's our physical location.
Yeah.
We've not necessarily pushed that social media side.
Yeah.
We didn't have to. We got referrals from word of mouth. We didn't necessarily have to advertise.
Right.
But now that, we're going down this path, we've got to have those tools available for people.
Absolutely.
And so we're trying to push more for that. We have Facebook.
Okay.
You know, it's not used a ton,
Yeah.
but it's coming.
You do have one.
It's
Okay.
coming.
So they should look out for the website
Karen Clark,
coming.
Coleman and Associates website should be coming soon.
Okay.
Smart Vault is coming, our new client portal. That's
Okay.
the name of it for tax season 2024.
Okay.
And phone call, email, or stop by and see us.
All right. Very good. Well, thank you so much, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Pleasure having you.
Thank you.